what you're hearing out of the Commanders minicamp to some of the others, I think is encouraging. And if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067, I just posted a clip on X at Junks Radio of a viral clip, and it probably means nothing. It's J.J. McCarthy throwing to a coach about 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
And it went viral that guy's like 10 yards away.
I mean, you're not. It's not being very fair to J.J.
I understand
McCarthy.
that.
I mean, it's just it's a weird one-off throw.
Probably.
Who knows how seriously he's taking it?
Well, he also lost a bet to his teammates during rookie minicamp because he bet that he wouldn't have more than 3 incompletions in whatever they were doing, 7-on-7, and he went over. All I'm saying is that's kind of negative, right? And then coming out of the Patriots minicamp, the Drake May headline was from the head coach who says he has a lot of work to do. All I'm saying is this was all positive from Commanders minicamp and all positive about Jayden Daniels' personality. And I saw the same viral side-by-side where they said, look at the quick release and how much faster the ball gets to his teammate. The one thing I did notice is May threw it much higher. So I don't know if it's a true...
He's also throwing a shorter pass.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was a true, fair comparison.
No, but it was just interesting. I wanted to see if that was a thing, though. And John seemed to say, yeah, definitely something he's known for, having a quick release. I will say, at being, a lifelong Skins fan, the only, I thought about this as I was driving in also. You only hear glowing things when these things.
Generally.
Right? You're only going to hear glowing things. The only caveat is I do remember reading within days after Desmond Howard came in here after he was selected, and they said he struggled getting off the line of scrimmage in some of these mini camps and training camps, and that ended up being an issue. Now,
Kate's brought this up last week. We heard Jamar Chase couldn't catch the ball all the preseason. He became a stud.
Well, he did. You didn't hear it. You saw it.
I know, but sometimes it could be all negative, and then the guy's a flat-out stud.
Of course.
And sometimes it could be all positive, and then he stinks. It's kind of like we did hear a little bit that Ryan Fitzpatrick, now that wasn't rookie minicamp, but Ryan Fitzpatrick wasn't necessarily great in training camp for Washington. Now, he ended up not really playing.
I mean, he gets an incomplete.
He could have been fine.
That got injured in the first game of the season.
Right, my point is he could have been fine.
Right, you don't know how that was going to turn out.
I agree.
And it's 7-on-7. It's not like there's a pass rush coming at him that's going to threaten him.
Right.
No, for sure.
And it's May.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah, I don't read too much into any positive or negative coming out from any camp at this point.
I saw this kid practicing at Walter Johnson on Saturday, throwing routes to 2 receivers, putting in the hard work in the offseason. Guy looked like a flat-out stud because there was no defender.
Right, there's no pass rush. There's no line breaking down in front of him.
The only thing I
think... many other factors.
Drabby, when's the schedule being released? I thought it was going to be last
15th.
week, but...
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Yeah. Wednesday night? All right.
Yeah.
The only thing I think is for sure is Driscoll and Fromm are cooked because they're talking about Hartman. They gave Hartman $250 to sign.
So he'll be the 3. He'll be the...
I'm guessing. Now, John said, I listened to his podcast as I was driving in. John said, well, they can easily cut that. It's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of the NFL.
Right.
But
to me, those guys barely even exist. Like, those guys may have been important before you draft a stud at number 2.
No, they don't. You're right.
They're practice squad fodder at best.
You're right. It's just interesting to me.
I always wonder if it's confirmation bias based on where they are drafted or people are actually seeing something different. Because I heard one analyst say, oh, the ball just comes out of Jayden Daniels' hand so different than it does from Sam Hartman. But in a lot of these clips that we see, all right, we weren't there, but in a lot of these clips, you see both of the guys dropping back, right. Hartman throwing to one side to a receiver, Jayden throwing to the other side, and it looks pretty identical. Like, I can't tell a difference.
It should be different. It should feel different. Like a guy who's picked number 2, like the ball should snap.
Yeah, I know, but my point is that did you actually see that? I'm saying that my eyes, they look the same. I'm saying a lot of these people, I think it's confirmation bias that they want to see that it looks different. He's a better player. I get it. He had a better collegiate career and all of that stuff. But just the drills, it's hard to see.
It is hard to see because they're not like slinging it 100 miles an hour. They're just kind of going through the motions in a lot of ways. And believe me, I've been on the sideline before, and they look very similar. like guys with notorious weak arms.
Yeah.
They look pretty similar. They throw some
But in a
pretty tight
7-on-7,
sillies.
so we're not seeing every play. So in a 7-on-7, you may see Daniels' quick release is more efficient and more noticeable than it is for these other guys.
Look,
Well,
what's
also
sep-
the scramble factor. The biggest difference between Jayden
That's
Daniels
what
and everybody
separates
else
him.
is the
He can
scramble
run.
factor.
His legs is what separates
can
him.
run.
That's why he went 2.
Correct.
If he didn't have those legs, I'm not.
If he's a
certain he would've
runner,
gone
he
2.
could. Probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Probably would have gone, mid-first.
But I think the only real kind of red flag maybe is the injury to Newton, which I guess is good to take care of it now versus later. That's obviously better now, but you hope that's not going to linger. Like Mathis is a guy I think that struggled with injuries.
Yeah,
and that's why
hopefully
we've
it
never
doesn't-
seen him do anything.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't become a Mathis situation.
Right. But I'm personally excited to see the tight end. I'm personally excited to see McCaffrey. Because I do believe in the bloodline.
Well, and this is what I want to see. I want to see when the rookies go with the vets and they're playing against the vets.
100%.
Because that's going to be a lot different.
Yep. No, for sure.
You'll be hearing different reports from all these teams.
For sure.
I believe in the bloodlines to an extent, but I was reading about Jerry Rice and his son, and Jerry Rice is upset that Jerry Rice Jr., I think he was drafted in the 7th round, or maybe he was undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the junior just isn't that good.
No, for sure. But especially when you have siblings, like
I think the number one thing that I get out of it is like the work ethic and the knowledge of the game.
The parents know
and
how
that
to
sort of thing.
raise
Sure.
athletes.
That and also the genetics is a huge role.
There's
Because
genetics and the know-how.
Didn't I see that the McCaffrey mom ran like a 4.5 40 when she was pregnant?
Right.
Yeah, I saw
don't
that.
forget
I
the
didn't know whether to
uncle, don't
believe
forget the
that.
uncles and all them. I mean, that's just
that for
freaking,
sure
Could have been.
That seemed like
Did I get onioned? I don't know.
What did you say
I
about the
had
mom?
doubt on that one.
Like that she's a stud athlete too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
she
believe
was.
she's a stud athlete, but to run a 4.5 while pregnant.
Maybe she was like early pregnancy. Maybe she wasn't
Maybe.
like 8 months pregnant.
How many women even run a 4.5? I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go.
No idea.
Look deeper in the research.
Yeah.
there.
Was she a soccer player?
I don't know. I don't know her athletic background.
They're definitely fast chicks. Clearly, that they have great genetics.
Sure.
Clearly, they have great work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to be successful at a high level. And by the way, the kid also has 2 years very productive work at receiver, being new to the position. I think he's got pretty productive numbers.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued.
I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that. And the Sinnott kid too. I mean, if he's a second ranked tight end on the board, I'm excited about it.
And I know it's a goofy thing, Cakes,
Yeah.
but aren't you glad that it's not a Jayden Daniels throw that's wide right by like 5 yards to a coach?
You think Jayden Daniels didn't have an off-target throw?
You're
during
missing the point,
during the
though.
minicamp?
Don't you think it would create a buzz if that's what you got out of minicamp?
Of course, because we're in a sports
And I
desert
will say,
wasteland
if you
right
got
now.
I will say, in fairness, that because you know how we always say everything glowingly. When Carson came here, all they did was poop on him and say how terrible he looked 2 years ago. They said on air he was missing guys, throwing in the dirt, overthrowing guys. Those reports came out, and there was some truth to it.
Yeah.
There
it
was.
wasn't super.
But that also might have been
accurate.
confirmation bias because there weren't many that were lauding that pickup based on the previous 2 seasons.
Right, but Ron was
People had
hyping
questions
him.
about
Of
it.
course. Ron was hyping him.
He read the papers.
Ron has to.
He hyped everybody up.
Ron's running
Yeah.
the whole thing.
But the
He has to hype
reporters
him.
weren't just glowing. They were like, no, there's some red flags here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not like they're all totally only reporting good stuff.
I think it's encouraging
Yeah.
because you can have negative.
Yeah.
Like I said, Drake May, the head coach himself, has got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. McCarthy, the one goofy throw. I saw Sean Payton was pretty high on
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
I'm telling you, Peyton's going to
I
get
didn't say
more-
anything about Penix
Pe-
for some reason.
No, Penix apparently looked good.
Oh, really?
They said that I saw one viral clip of all his receivers dropping a ball because they said those candy arm quarterbacks they had in previous years, these guys weren't used to the velocity that Penix had. And I saw clips, and he's throwing seeds right to them, and they're dropping them.
It's just hilarious that Kirk left the Vikings because they said we're going to draft a quarterback of the
Right.
future.
Yeah.
Poor Kirk.
He was flummoxed.
He just
doesn't
gets
understand it.
hosed at every turn in the NFL. Never gets a real fair shake, my guy Kirk.
Right. Well,
maybe win some playoff
He's
games.
the number one guy. Here's your fair shake.
I'm praying he takes the Falcons to the Super Bowl.
140 million.
I'm praying that happens.
140 million. That's a fair shake.
You should be praying that Jayden Daniels takes the Commanders to the Super Bowl.
Well, that's true. I'd like that to happen too. That's probably better for us as a whole. But deep down, I'm rooting for Kirky. How could I not? I've been waving the flag for Kirky forever.
I don't know. Draft, did you see those reports? I saw positive reports on Penix. That's what I saw.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. There was no doubt going in that they had a laser arm.
Yeah. I saw positive reports on him. And I'm telling you, I think this quarterback class is going to be pretty good. I'm betting better than 50% hit rate.
What's the hit rate?
I don't know. I
that means 4 out of 6.
Second contract with the same team?
I can't. I don't know. But
that would be a hit.
Okay.
Right?
I just don't know how it's going to work. I mean, Kirk did he sign a second contract with the Skins? I don't know. They just franchised him. They franchised him.
Yeah.
That's not really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Always get paid
The team
wants him.
franchise, that's a hit. Because you're getting like $40 million.